So hi guys, my name is Marcus Hustle and I help people start an online business so you can make a shit ton of cash and go back to your maths teacher and prove them that you can be successful in life with no algebra. Shout out to my maths teacher. Anyway, if you guys wanted to get free coaching on how to start an online business from completely zero and scale it online, click the first link in the description, join our community with well over 20,000 members where I'm teaching you guys exactly how to do this, how to start and scale, how to get clients. So in today's video, I wanted to go over how and why you should charge high ticket for your marketing agency. Like what are the benefits, how do you do it, why you should do it, and let's just jump straight into it. The idea that I got for this video actually just jumped off a coaching call with one of our students here at the Academy. His name is Xander. He only joined us a couple of weeks ago, and the conversation that we're having, or the problem that he was having, hence why he booked a one-to-one coaching call with me, was, the struggle of trying to charge high ticket, because that's what we consult you guys on, that's what we coach. We don't really tell you to go after small little couple $100 clients unless you're completely starting out. We really want you to be charging $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 for your service. And in this short call that me and Xander had literally a couple of minutes ago, just before I'm recording this video, I really went over a couple of bits that I'm going to be covering in full detail in this video, and it really shifted his mindset and it really shifted his perspective on money and what really value is. And I just wanted to play this really short clip right here. Just bear with us and I'll jump back in the video. Just play this little clip right now of our call. When you are on a sales call and you give them the price, if the prospect doesn't have like a gasp, like your price is not big enough. Nobody cares about it. Yeah, so your price should give them like, fucking hell, are you serious? Is it that much?
Yeah.
Like Academy now is £10,000, which is like $13,000. Not a small amount of money,
No.
but the value is there, right? And sure, not everybody can afford that. But even when people leave the meeting, they're like, I need this fucking thing now. Because it makes it more exclusive as well. It makes it higher quality. Not everybody can access it. If Louis Vuitton was $10 and everybody could buy Louis Vuitton, nobody would want it.
No.
But because it's so fucking stupidly expensive and just overpriced, people want it. There's value to it now. It's the same piece of clothing, but because it's so expensive and less people can have it, people want it more. And they associate luxury to it and quality with it. Same with your service, bro. So when you're just $1,000 a month, who else is $1,000 a month? Fucking everybody, right? What's different about Xander? Nobody is going to talk about you. But when you say your service is $7,000, fucking hell, I was on a call with this guy and he was doing this, and he quoted me 7,000. One guy was like, oh, that's a ripoff. And I was like, what does he offer then? Because I'm curious, why is he so expensive?
Yeah.
All of a sudden now you're in a conversation.
Yeah.
So that is a clip from about half an hour call that I just had with one of my students, Xander. In this video, like I mentioned, I wanted to go over a couple of points that I mentioned in that clip right there, but just go into a bit more detail and point out some other things as well on why you guys should be charging high ticket and also how to. So when you are just starting out completely from zero, of course, it'll be fairly difficult for you to go straight in and charge $10,000 for your service. So when you are just starting out, I do understand if you wanted to start really small, maybe charge a couple hundred or maybe just $1,000 for your service when you are starting out for your first couple clients. As long as you have some case studies and a proof of concept that what you do works and it provides value and you've got some good results, there's nothing stopping you from going into high ticket. Now in this video, I'm not going to go into the exact practicals, how to put together a high ticket offer. I might create a short kind of YouTube video in the future, but that's exactly what we teach in the Academy. I will literally jump on a call with you and explain to you exactly how you can go from charging a couple $100 to literally $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for the same service, just repackaged in a different way, and maybe actually improving that service, of course, as well, if you need help with that. So one of the first things that you're going to notice when you start actually charging high ticket is you stand out from the competition, right? And I mentioned this in the clip as well. I'm not sure if it was kind of included, but I was speaking to Xander and I was saying, well, look, when you're charging only $1,000 for your service, well, who else is doing that? Everybody. So you blend in with everybody else and you don't really stand out from the competition. Nobody really talks about you, right? Because you don't stand out, you blend in. Whereas if the average person is charging 1,000 and you come in and you're charging 7,000, straight away people are going to be like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I'm interested now. What's different about your service? They might tell their friends, etc. And that's how the word starts to spread. And you do it for long enough, the whole industry starts learning and knowing about you. Oh yeah, that's that guy. It's really expensive, but the value that he provides is incredible. I really recommend him. And over time that happens, but trust me, that doesn't happen when you're charging what everybody else is charging or undercutting somebody else. That would just never happen. And I think one example that I gave in the clip as well, and I definitely spoke to Xander about this, is giving like examples of real life businesses and services that me and you guys experience every single day. Well, like for example, high-end luxury like fashion, so Louis Vuitton, right? So Louis Vuitton, at the end of the day, sure, the material is definitely better than something like, I don't know, Zara or like ASOS. But there is a certain level where material is just material at the end of the day. Sure, it's real leather, but so is the next person selling real leather. But Louis Vuitton might be a couple thousand, whereas this one might be like $100, $200, right? But the reason why you want to go with Louis Vuitton is because it's so expensive. Because it's so expensive, not everybody can afford it. So therefore, less people can have it. When less people can have something, it's more desirable, right? Now, the same thing can go for kind of things like restaurants or luxury hotels. When it's super, super expensive, you automatically, at least me, I already can tell, or I already can, sense that it's probably going to be really nice food. The environment, like the actual building itself and the interior, everything's going to be really nice, high class. And it's just an overall better experience. You have better time in something like that than a McDonald's maybe, right? Like if you just go into a McDonald's, you might see just like unhygienic, like dirty, etc. Whereas like a really, really high-end luxury restaurant, you just wouldn't expect to see those things. So you'd have a greater time there. So therefore you're more willing to go to these places, even though it is very, very expensive. Now the next point I wanted to make is actually one of the most important ones, is when your price is very expensive, so you're selling high ticket, kind of above 5,000, anything above that, automatically people will assume quality with your service, right? Again, can use the same thing as like Louis Vuitton. I was literally talking to my friend about this the other day. I bought a pair of sunglasses. They were like 20, 30 pounds or something like that. They broke probably within like my first week of wearing them, right? I must have put them in my bag and then they must have snapped in my bag or something. That just wouldn't really happen with something that's very expensive, like 2, 3, 4, 500 pound sunglasses. Don't get me wrong, they can still snap, but the chances are a little bit less likely because it'll be a better material and higher quality. It'll be put together better. Like one of the lenses might not fall out, things like that. So with your guys' service, when you guys are selling high ticket, before they even sign up with you, they straight away already have a lot more trust in you and a lot more confidence just because you're high ticket. They already assume that it's going to be a higher quality and better service, which in essence, by the way, builds authority for you guys. So when you're sitting there on a Zoom call with them and you say your price, which is $5,000, straight away, they're going to look at you like, well, okay, or this guy or girl must have some sort of authority, or they're really professional in this industry, because all the other people that I've spoken to, they only said a couple $100. So I don't know what you've got going on, but I really want it now, right? So that's what's going through their mind. The next point is that it actually disqualifies the bad clients. Well, when I say bad clients, I actually wrote here in my notes, it disqualifies low ticket clients, which by the way, most of the time are bad clients. Let me give you guys like a practical example. There was a photo. I'm going to try and see if I can find it. I'm going to send it to my editor to put it up on a photo here. There's a picture of like $500 and then I think it was 50,000. But basically it said the $500 client, he or she basically says like, oh, I don't really know if this is for me. Are you sure you're going to be able to do this? This is a lot of money to me. Like, I need this. Are you sure you can deliver? That's the $500 client. The $50,000 client just says, yep, send the invoice, payment made. And genuinely, like you will experience this, guys, when you go to high ticket and you start closing these high ticket clients, they're just so more chilled out. They're just so more relaxed group of people. Then that goes for a lot of reasons. Number one, if somebody can afford to pay the $5,000, for example, for your service, that means they probably already have a lot more cash set aside than that to just spend it on you. So therefore, they're on a different level in business. So they've already made X amount of cash. So therefore, they're thinking their ideology, they understand business, they understand patience, they understand compound effect, they understand the value of money, right? You need to invest money to make money. So these are the type of people that you want to be working with, right? Whereas somebody who's contemplating about spending $500 with you, they're probably in the beginning stages. They probably haven't made kind of a millionaire yet. They might be new to business, so they might not understand the value of money, the value of investments, right? Investing into their own business. They're definitely not going to be patient. And if somebody's contemplating spending $500, that means to them, that's a lot of money, right? Because think about it. If they had 50K in a bank account, what's $500? Like, yeah, sure, do it. So if somebody has to think about spending $500, that means that $500 is a lot of money for them. So because it's a lot of money for them, they're going to want to get their value out of it, right? They want to squeeze every single little bit of value out of those $500. So what does that mean for you guys? Well, those are going to be the clients that will call you on a Saturday and a Sunday, ask for extra services that you never told them that you're going to do. If you tell them that something's going to take a month, they're going to expect you to do it in 3 days. Those are the clients you don't want to work with. So when you're selling high ticket, the people that can't afford that, straight away, they're just like, that's not even nowhere close to my budget. I'm sorry, I can't afford it. Completely fine. That's okay. I will work with your competitor who is winning and is already making a lot of money. I'll just help them make more money, and it's going to be a lot easier. Which, by the way, brings me to the next point. It actually genuinely becomes easier to deliver service. It really depends on what you're doing, but I'm going to use my own example, like a marketing agency who's running paid ads, or for example, like page management. I can even imagine this working with creativity, like graphical design or web design. When you have a bigger budget, you can use like more team members, right? You can hire staff, you can hire contractors to deliver the service for. If you're running paid ads, when you have a bigger budget, you have more money to spend on ads to reach a wider audience, to generate more leads, to get more clients for your client, right? So it just becomes a lot easier. When you're doing web design, if you have a $500 budget, you probably have to do it yourself. When you have a $5,000 or $10,000 budget, you can easily afford $1,000 or $2,000, like an actual web designer who's like a freelancer to help you build this project with you, right? And now all of a sudden the project becomes even better and easier to create and shorter time. And one last thing I'll mention as well is when it's high ticket, and let's just say the client that pays you $500, well, the client that pays you $500, to them it's like, yeah, I mean, it's $500, like, sure. And to you, it's like, well, yeah, it's $500, sure. No, so you're both like not really that committed. It's like, it's whatever, it's $500. Like, I'll, do my best, whatever. When a client pays you 10 grand, you're fucking committed to making sure that their service, you over deliver on their service, right? So you're very committed. Let's just say you have like 20 clients and on average, they're all paying about 1,000, but one of them pays you 10 grand. Which one out of all of them would be your priority? Probably the one that pays you 10 grand, right? You might not want to admit it, but trust me, it would be, right? Because you're like, oh my God, this is a high ticket client. I do not want to lose this client. I'm going to over deliver. Trust me, you would be like that. And then for your client, if they pay a large sum, so like 10 grand, for example, they're going to be just as committed as you are into making this a success. So when you need content from them, or when you need like access to something from them, they'll be quick to respond, or they'll have a team that can respond to your messages and kind of move things forward a lot quicker than if it was just them just starting out. So overall, those are just a couple of points that I wanted to make. Overall, guys, if you have been in this industry for a while and you guys have at least 3 to 5 clients where you've had a good, like a case study, right? So like you've ran ads or you've done a website for them, or no matter what service you're doing, as long as you have about 3 to 5 results of clients who have had a great time and a great result with you, then there's nothing stopping you from trying to sell high ticket. Now, the last part is obviously, how do I put the high ticket offer together? Like I said, I could potentially do another YouTube video, but in the Ad Academy, that's exactly what we do. We help you put together high ticket offers so you guys can start making a shit ton of cash with it. And one last thing I'll ask you guys, like obviously you can't answer me because you're watching a fucking YouTube video, but just answer it in your own head. If you're watching this right now and you're running a marketing agency or any sort of business and you're trying to start selling high ticket and you kind of sometimes thought like, oh, well, how do I do it? It just seems so difficult. Like, how do I do it? What's the highest price that you've ever asked somebody? Put that in the comments below, and that should probably make you click and be like, oh, well, I want to charge 10 grand, but I've never asked anybody 10 grand. That's a good place to start. Just start asking for higher ticket and see what the response is like. You can always go down with your price from there. You can't go up, right? So if you're asking 1,000, you can only negotiate down from 1,000. You can't negotiate up. That wouldn't make sense. When you start at 10,000, you can negotiate down to 7,000 and it's a win-win. Okay, so other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, click the first link in the description, join our free community with over 20,000 members just like yourself. I'd love to see you in there. Other than that, click on one of these little videos around here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Take care.